Hello, my name is Dr. Evelyn Lee, and thank you so much for coming to our event today. And today we're going to talk about the hormone recharge, New Year and New You. I hope you have a great New Year so far with abundance, greatness, and also many wishes and action to come true in the future. And our goal today is to talk about how to build the habits, how to rebuild it, and also thrive from it, and just prepare you from the very beginning of the year. So therefore, you have all the plans in the future to come. And I'm Dr. Evelyn Lee. I'm a naturopathic physician licensed in Washington State. So I see doc patients in and out to work collaborative with a lot of practitioners around the area in Redmond, Washington, as a primary care. And also I focus a lot on hormone and also working with GI and mental health for patient as well. So in this realm, it is integrative functional and medicine. So we work on the majority of your mental health, your gut health, your physical body, and everything else that can optimize your health. All right, so let's get started. Um, I have a few disclaimer. So this is the event where it is not about a medical advice. So therefore, use it as you see fit. And in the future, we will have more events to come. So therefore, it will be an educational format. And what do other people say about working with me, right? And this is important to see why you should listen to one doctor or versus the other one. And for example, the first patient say thank you more than anything, though they feel that they much feel better overall and had an exercise phobia because it was so difficult for her to do anything at all. And she was discouraged in very attempt. At every attempt, now it feels challenging, not impossible, or like she will die. So she popped out of bed in the morning off the couch without a groan or a huff after working with me for a while. And these were her top goals, but looking better is a cherry on top. And the second patient talked that working with me, follow my guidance, and then she finally started to see the differences in her core strength. It was a time that she sees inch changes in her core, and she would definitely do it again to follow the direction. So these kind of testimonial will tell you to see how working with one practitioner will be different and to see if that is something you're going to follow in the future. So the objective today, I have a very four clear concepts. And this is our first section. So therefore, it's going to be straight to the point. I will go to the big picture and zoom in pretty detailed and also zoom out to make sure everything is concrete and also simple for you to follow. You may not grasp it at the first time, but I would encourage you to come back and listening some more. And in the future, I will put more links and also more articles and more little video to explain a little concept in between as well. So the first thing is about concepts, right? Garbage in, garbage out, and a stinky house. Okay. And the second thing is about metabolic switch of how hormone and also the metabolic switch was able to allow you to functional more optimal and also perform well. Now, the number three is a body cleanse. It's all important for us. And also number four is a body activation. So next one, let's talk about the concept, right? So over the new year, you probably host many people in your house, or you may come to many party to actually like enjoy the community together. And the concept of garbage in, garbage out, stinky house. This segment is to help you implement lifestyle. I like to use the example of the stinky house. This is to explain that your house and your body are very similar. When you function in your house, you may create small and sometimes big garbage piles. Now, just to say that we're not talking about any habit is a garbage, it is an analogy of what we are eating outside and we put it as trash and whatever our body is putting in our body to see whether it's clean or not or whether it is nutritional sufficient for us or not. And when you cook, you will generate some mess. But when you have a party for 20 people, you have a bigger mess. The trash can fill up. Could you imagine creating a 20 people party and the waste management service going on strike? If you continue to have a party for 20 people every Friday night because that you are that kind of community service and like to get together, you would not let your trash pile up in the kitchen, so you move them out to the garage while waiting, like this one, while waiting for the waste management returns. In the meantime, that is just sitting there in your house, specifically in your garage. It's spoiling, it's rotten and funky smell. When you enter your car, and walk by the garage to go to work. You can't stand the stinky smell. So you open that door, garage door, you drive off to work and come back and say, "Oh, it's across small it's across the smell here, and you cannot take it out and nobody takes it up even though if you take it to the curbside because the waste management is on strike, they haven't come back yet. Then you decide partying too much is creating garbage, so I'm going to stop partying. Well, that's good in terms of reducing the garbage. What do you do about a 10 to 15 cans of trash garrotting and fermenting in your garage? By this time, you should figure out that every time you open that door, it's coming through the vent, the door, the smell is now in your kitchen. And I don't feel that cooking my house anymore because it just does not make you feel good to be in the kitchen. So even if you make a little mistake, so that the trash can pile up, and then you may lose the appetite and feel nauseated, so your appetite is down and the waste management is still on strike, so the trash is still in the garage, and you have nowhere to put it. So again, you try to function, to work and come home, and the smell backs it up, makes it back into the bedroom even though you tried to seal off the crack of the room. Now you have a difficult time sleeping, definitely no sex life going on because the odor is so horrible that you have decreased libido. It does not put anybody in the mood. So you noticed that you have more headaches. So you've got vomiting, nausea, headache, low libido, and poor sleep. There's something wrong. So you see a doctor who says you have problem in several departments. You have GI problem, you have a hormone problem, which is because of your libido. You may have a brain problem, and because of not sleeping well and being cranky, that is very similar to what the patient is experiencing. They have one major root cause and the stinky trash in the garage, like that, which is now creating a whole bunch of seemingly disconnected downstream issues. But they are just a progression of the garbage in not having a chance to become garbage out. The management service decided to provide us services again. So you open a garage door like this right here, and they say that you can only put out 5 cans at a time. Soon, if you open a window and door, the odor will be reduced week by week. You are able to function again. Health is not so bad because you're able to take the trash out to the curb one by one. The bedroom smells good and the sleep is so much better. My mood is improving. This is similar to chronic obesity in that they start developing inflammation. If a person also have irritable bowel syndrome, such as constipation or diarrhea, their colon is very important way to get the garbage out. The waste management services want to come less often, so they will probably go in there twice a week, like a bowel movement twice per week, presenting with constipation. What do you think to be their hormone or weight problem? And the problem is actually from that garbage in and garbage out. So let's go to the next step. What is our takeaway, right? So our body is intelligent and responds to what we put in, environmental exposure, genetic disposition. So the next step is to read the labels in the back of those food and also those packages that you received, and also clean up the garbage in and garbage out. So the next step, this talk is about hormone balancing, hormone recharge. So I want to make into the context of a big picture of what hormone I usually treat with patient. So first of all, I look at this as a diamond pattern, right? I look at thyroid, adrenal, iron, hormones, and in the middle there is the gut and the brain mental. So hormones were made in endocrine glands, including the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal glands, gonad, testes, and ovaries, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, and pancreas, etc. So those are the big picture that we always have to look into whenever we think about hormone balancing and recharging it, right? So when you next time go to see a doctor, these are 4 essential questions I want you to ask them. First, what is the root cause of your symptom? Right? Integrative medicine doctors focus on treating the root cause of disease instead of just managing the symptoms. By identifying the addressing the underlying causes of your symptom, you're more likely to experiencing a lasting relief. Now, number two, how will the treatment benefit you in the long term? Right? And the integrative medicine doctors want to help you achieve optimal health and well being. So, I and other providers will develop a treatment plan that is tailored to your individual needs that will address all aspects of your health. And number four, what is the approach to the healthcare? So, we would love, and also I'm a patient myself, and also my family member is a patient of other provider too, and I would love to have some other doctor who look at me as a whole person and holistic, where everything connected, and also have a question and answers that connect everything pieces together, instead of being transferred to one specialist to another specialist, and knowing that all of them are amazing provider and they can really give you the answer for individual departments. But I also would like to have someone, and also for to do our my homework at home, to piece them together to make sure we have a clear picture of our future health journey. Number fourth, ask what else can you do at home to be proactive on your health journeys. There's a lot of habits things that we can do at home. And I would say that depend on the doctor times in the clinic. Sometimes they have a very little time, but I would say one or two little tricks or little tips or anything here and there that you can support your health habit and every single day, that can really carry a long perspective in the future. So now let's talk about part number two. We talk about metabolic switch, right? So we need to go through some very basics. And I would love you to look at the right hand side with me, the menstrual cycle. So most women have a menstrual cycle that is somewhere between 21 and 35 days. The first day of the cycle is the first day the woman gets her period, right? Remember that. And some of you may be here who are in your young 20s, 30s, and some people are already in a perimenopause, about 30, the end of 30, or up to 50s or 60. And some people may be menopause or postmenopause when you rewatch this video again. And I would say that these cyclical menstruation will approach match some of the an audience, and also some audience will not match. But I would say that everyone somehow, some way, if you ever be on a hormone replacement therapy, the ovulation or the sign of the FSH will also fluctuate up and down. So some way, somehow, some people will still feel the ovulation process. So the first day of the cycle is the first period, and the cycle is broken down into four stages based on the hormone level. Okay, the two hormones that are most important are the estrogen and progesterone, which is on this line right here. Estrogen is in the blue, and progesterone is in the red, and testosterone is in the orange, where it's pretty low right here. And testosterone also has its place, often left out of the research related to the hormone. So we're gonna trying to incorporate testosterone into this picture. Each of the sex hormones impacts the body in a different way. Most of us know about the impact hormones have on reproduction and sexual health, but there's more than that. The hormones can impact recovery, muscle metabolism, and fatigue. So the menstrual day number 1 to number 5, which is on the left hand side, we have a picture right here where they have the menstrual day 1 to day 5. During the first few days of your cycle, your estrogen and progesterone are at the lowest, right? If you look at this one right here as the lowest from day 1 to day 5, and this is when women's physiology is closest to what a man's physiology is. This is a great time for peak performance training, and is when some women feel their best. During this time, it is also believed that women will have decreased neuromuscular control, meaning they will be more likely to get injured and have less body awareness. This is time when warming up, focusing on how you're moving, getting enough sleep, and continuing strength training is very important. It is also important to be aware that you may be iron deficient or have possible anemia due to the period coming out of your body and the blood coming out of the body. And iron rich and anti inflammatory foods will be very supportive as well. So now let's move on to the second phase, which is day 6 to day 11. And that could be about this day 6 to day 11 right here. At the peak, it's usually about day 14. So as your cycle moves into the follicular phase, your pain tolerance increases and time to fatigue increases. This is a great time for racing, endurance, and strength training. During this phase, focus on carbohydrates, healthy fats, and anti inflammatory foods can help you recover and feel your best. So now let's move on to the third phase, which is the ovulation day on 11 and 18. So this is often called a Venus week because it's when your body is the strongest. This is when your testosterone is at its peak. So if you look at this right here, it's at its peak right here. And your estrogen is generally high as well. So it is taking up right here around this area right there. So during this week, focus on high intensity training is ideal because your muscle fatigue less and recovery faster. You will want to focus on hydration, protein, and more healthy carbohydrates during this phase. Okay, and now let's look at the last phase, which is the luteal days, which is the top corner right here on the top left. So this is about this 19 to 28 toward the end of their cycle right here. So during the luteal phase, it's the best to focus on rest, recovery, mental skill training, visualization, and scaffolding. Scaffolding. This is a time when you will feel most fatigue. It will be more difficult to maintain muscle mass, and your core temperature will be high. So make sure to plan for more downtime and ask for help and conserve your energy. Again, this will be a great time to use fuel as support. So think about hydrating, protein, healthy fat, and food with nitric oxide. Okay, so I hope this complicated picture give you a few in detailed pictures about how your hormone was moving over that different stages of your cycle. Okay, so let's talk about the takeaway, right? So what you eat and when you eat are key for metabolic reset. I would recommend very basic things that most people probably have been doing that, which is great. If you haven't implemented them for a while, I would say this can be something new for you to do for the new year, for example. So fast for at least 12 to 14 hours nightly to really get your metabolic reset balance out. All right, so let's go to the concept number 3, which is body cleanse. So in our body, there are 6 different organs to really help us detox, right? When we have all the hormone flushing through our body, it is flowing around our body. At the same time, we need to really get rid of it. So therefore, it can continue replenishing as a flow. We don't want them to stagnate all at once in our organs. So the skin remove the crystal waste product through the sweating. And as you see, that was the skin right here for our body skin. So through the exhalation of the lung, so the lung is also a place for the detox. It rid the body carbon dioxide, a byproduct of breathing, and also the lymphatic system, which is all about your lymph node on your armpit area, and also the inguinal area, and also there are places around your body part that can have a lymph node as well. And the lymphatic system part of the body, circulatory system, help rid the body's toxins, waste, and other unwanted materials. And the kidney is also very important, which is down here and right here, and usually the kidney is behind your rib cage right here. So it filters out excess salt and waste from cell metabolism, in addition to regulating water fluids level. Now, the big organ that we always talk about is a liver, and if you hear about liver detox, that is where the term come from, because all the metabolism of your medicine, your food, your toxin is always go through the liver, and the liver inactivates and removes substances, and we ingest, including food additives, harmful minerals, toxic medication, excess hormones, and then the colon. Last but not least, right? The colon right here. Also, on the large intestine, rids the body of leftovers from digestion in the form of solid waste. So, the more serious form of toxicity include heavy metals, molds, biotoxins, and intestinal parasites and viruses. So true detoxification or cleansing goes above and beyond what we simply put into our mouth. So this could be a topic in the future that we can talk more about. And nowadays, people use the word cleansing and detox interchangeably, but there's more than just a normal habit. There have to be including the detox, mindful about what we put into the body, and also mindful about how do we get rid of it. So a few takeaway, they're very simple to help you start with this very simple action step. Move your body. Just move that body, move the lymphatics massage to get rid of those fluid out of your body. And sometimes with the sauna can really help you sweat and get the toxin out of your body as well as the lymphatic massage. You can do lymphatic massage like before you go to the bathrooms. Therefore, when you take a shower, hot shower, it get out of your body. And also, I like the daily detox tea. It could be any detox in the over the counter that you can buy from Whole Foods, PCC, any health food store, and those have a very good flavor for you. And for me, I just love to drink them throughout the day because those are very simple, easy to apply, imply to our body, our daily life, right? So now, last but not least, part number 4, we move pretty good space right now. So body activation, it could just be movement, right? However, how many movement are there that we really need in our body? Okay, so move your body each day. Water intensity and duration are relevant. Any movement is far superior to none. I agree with that. Even though you can walk, if you can do yoga, stretching, cardio. However, research have shown that if you really hit those 3 exercises that include flexibility, strength training, and cardio, and you can spread them out in alternating different days in a day, in the week, and that could really benefit and maximize your performance in the body too. So, for the example, including walking meetings in the workplace, parking a car further away from the ultimate destination, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, and flexibility, which is the first picture that we see right here. So I would say at least 5 days of the week with a low intensity. You can just hold a position for 30 seconds for yoga. And other types are Tai Chi or Qigong, which can last for about 15 minutes to an hour. And that is a great way to rejuvenate your energy level from the ground up. And yeah, and I would say right now, since we're on a call right now, I would just do a few stretching with you, even though that we may work for a long day or having a one position of sitting. So I would just like raise your arm up and just hold them up like that and just pushing forward in the future, like forward right here, and hold it for about 30 seconds, and also going up right here for about the next 10 seconds within that 30. Breathe in and out. Notice that you're breathing through your belly, where it moves up and down. Breathe out longer than breathing in. And now just stretch back of your back, because we always lounge our body most of the time, actually. And some people can really do that. And I'm very subject to working on my computer all the time. So this is a back stretch, would be very helpful. All right, deep breath in. And that is the last piece about the yoga or stretching, right? Now, strength training, for example, with weightlifting, bands, etc., focus on muscle group, legs, hips, back, abdomen, chest, shoulders, and arms at least 1 times per week for beginner. 2 to 4 times per week is ideal, and 8 to 10 repetition per set for muscle mass with some strength. I love the band. Wherever you go, wherever you travel for conferences or for if you do vacation, right, exercise during vacation, or if you are out of the house, you can always bring your band with you and also exercise. It is a very different way to really do that resistance. And I would say, in my experience with clinic, I work with a lot of women who are 40 years and above, where their bone density start to lose. Whenever that loss happening, we would like to restore that before we reverse the osteoporosis or osteopenia. Once the bones start to have degrading, it will be harder and longer to really reverse. So I highly recommend any type of body training in terms of like strength, band resistant or weight resistant training. Please incorporate them, and that could be very helpful. And that could be 10 minutes per week per day, or 10 minutes 15 minutes per day for you. Yeah. And there are some group working together that could be a good thing in the community as well. Last but not least is about cardio treadmill. So cardio, jumping rope or brisk walk 2 or 3 times per week for 20 minutes per session, while the heart rate can be 110 beat per minute, could be a very optimal way to really help you pump your heart. The more that you go toward the perimenopause or menopause, your atrial flutter or atrial fibrillation may happen and occurs, and we wonder why is it the heart start to go down so quickly, because our function of hormone is also go down, our muscle mass does go down, so we have to really keep that up before anything else is happening, right? So the next step is I have a few video, or actually a picture right here, and it's called about fitness blender, and you probably hear more about other type of fitness in the market right now. So this is just one example where they have a lot of different type, and you can just follow the video, or 24-hour fitness, they have an app where you can just follow that kind of app, and there's a lot of different websites out there that you can really follow to see what kind of exercise that you can follow. And Zumba dancing could be very great too for the neurocognitive function, so that would be good. And there is a few free technology to consider. For example, my Fitness Pal, you can also track your calorie intake per day with your exercise log to see how was your calorie burning and how much you are putting in your body to make sure that you have enough. And photography or the C24K to 5K trainer and 5-minute yoga could be a very good thing. So couch potato to 5K program who have a hard time to get out of the house sometime, and you can just work at home, and quick workout for flexibility for the body and mind as well. Okay, so I was also put a little talk about the HIIT activity, which is high interval intensity training. And I would like to just challenge you. About 30 seconds is super, super fast to the point where you really raise your heart beat to be very fast together. So that would be very nice. So let's do it together. And I would do a 30-second about the challenge of jumping jack. So let's do it with me. We're just going to start to really jumping jack ourselves for about 30 seconds. So let's just start. And we're just going to do it real quick together. And then this is going to be just a beginning for your exercise for the year. And I'm pretty sure once you really do this, then you're going to be done for today. And you can just start for the next day for sure. Okay, maybe about 15 more seconds here. If you start to notice your heart rate going up very fast and still able to talk still, then you're still in a very good range. Okay, happy. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, that is good. See, that can really pump up a lot of energy level for your brain and your blood flow as well, right? So last things, I would say that is all I have for you today. Thank you very much for showing up. And once again, I'm Dr. Evelyn. This is my QR code. Whew, that's a lot of heart rate going up. So feel free to check that QR code. It's about my educational platform, and subscribe to my channel if you like this video, and mailing list as well to receive more future events and educational connection with work with me. So there's a community of longevity hormone recharge that you're welcome to connect it to, and then all the links and resources are in the description below, and I will see you next time.